Yo, 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 what's good, man? It's your boy O.N.E once again bringing you 60 seconds of substance. Today we're coming out of the book of Genesis, chapter 17, verses 15 through 21, talking about signs of the covenant. Then God said to Abraham, "As for Sarai, your wife, you shall not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. And I will bless her and also give you a son by her. Then I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of peoples shall be from her." Then Abraham fell on his face and laughed, and he said in his heart, "Shall a child be born to a man who is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, who is 90 years old, bear a child?" And Abraham said to God, "Oh, that Ishmael might live before you." Then God said, "No, Sarah your wife shall bear you a son, and you shall call his name Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his descendants after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. He shall beget 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah shall bear to you at this set time next year." All right, and so what the scripture is talking about here is covenant. All right, and so we all know the story of Abraham dealing with Sarah and her maidservant Hagar, right? And so Abraham didn't think that he was going to have a son because Sarah was barren, or Sarai at the time was barren. So Sarai went ahead and told Abraham, "Hey, get with my maidservant Hagar," and so he did, and that's how Ishmael came to be. But God came to Abraham and said, "Hey, we're gonna change Sarai's name to Sarah, and she's gonna bear you a son, and that son is gonna be called Isaac, and through Isaac I will establish my everlasting covenant." Right? And so, but what I wanted to focus on was back in verse 20, where he says, "And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly." All right, and so because God has had a covenant relationship with Abraham, right, even though he had Ishmael, which wasn't in the will of God as far as his plans for how Abraham should go about having a seed, Abraham kind of took it upon himself, him and Sarai, and they put Hagar in the mix, and that's how Ishmael came to be, right? And so even though that wasn't in the steps that God had for Abraham, it didn't matter because God had a covenant relationship with Abraham. And so for those of us, that should be good news, knowing that we serve a God that is so merciful that because that we have established a covenant relationship with him, even our missteps can be blessed. And that's why God said that he heard Abraham and that he would bless Ishmael exceedingly, and that he would beget 12 princes, and he would make him a great nation. That's your 60 seconds of substance. And remember, God is inspirational substance. Shalom.